Television Network, TSPN. And now, TSPN News with Tom Slavik. Comprehensive news because in today's world, you need more than just sound bites. TSPN, streaming on the World Wide Web, and now on demand at TSPN.com. Hi everyone, I'm Tom Slavik and welcome to TSPN's News for Today. And today we're going to have start off our news with the Supervisors report. And after that report, I'll be talking with Lennox, 108, and here locally. And so we'll be talking with him. So stay with us right here on TSPN. You're watching Amador County's #1 news and sports leader, TSPN. Well, hi everyone, and we're back. And with me is Al Lennox. And how are you doing, Al?
Hi, Tom. Glad to be here.
Okay, give us your title at 108.
President of the ambulance company, and I'm also the post adjutant.
Okay.
And that is the secretary of the post, the Corporal O'Reilly, for those that remember that show. And I take care of all the paperwork and all the business of the post.
Okay, you keep all the nuts and bolts straight?
I try to, Tom.
Okay, all right. Now, are you still connected with in the state as well? Have a position?
Air finance for the state of California.
Okay.
And that's what I did before I was state commander and before I was national executive committeeman. That 2-year term representing the state of California just ended, and there's a new national executive committeeman. And it was a very great experience for me to represent California, but I have to tell you, it took a lot of energy and it takes a lot of work. And it's kind of 2 years is just about the right amount of time.
It would seem like it's a great honor, and to me, coming, first of all, I lived in L.A., so I know what it's like in big cities, and coming from here, from Amador County, like a small place, it would seem like a great honor to be picked from a small local area to represent such a big state. I mean, for people to just keep in mind, like 1 of every 7 Americans lives in California. So
we are a big state. We're a diverse state. We have all sorts of issues that the rest of the nation doesn't face. Just the geographic size of our state and the physical boundaries, and then the ethnic makeup of the state. It's quite a challenge, and it's like managing a company. And if you were managing a company in the state of California and you were all over this state, how would you manage it? And that's when you're talking about the American Legion, because we have posts from the Oregon border to the Mexican border on the coast and to the deserts near Las Vegas and Arizona. So it's a big challenge. I enjoyed it. It took, it's been the last 6 years of my life.
Wow.
So,
okay, tomorrow the veterans are having an outreach, and before we get to that, let's tell people what the VA's mission is. You know, it's not just like a club that people that were in the service kind of join and go and hang out after the, I guess on weekends or things like that. It is that. It has a bigger mission than that.
Well, the American Legion is based on 4 principles. And I like to think of its veterans still serving America.
All right.
But it's based on a foundation of 4 principles. VA&R, which is Veterans Assistance and Rehabilitation, children and youth, making sure that children in our country understand the patriotic values of our country and our country's history. Americanism, part of that patriotic, recognizing Flag Day, recognizing Memorial Day, recognizing Veterans Day, which is coming up, and then national security.
Okay.
And national security is an advocate for war. We have to clarify that, but we consider peace through strength the main target. And the perfect example of peace through strength was Ronald Reagan ended the Cold War without a shot being fired.
Right.
Peace through strength. They didn't want to mess with us.
Okay, it was the Strategic Air Command's motto, which I was in the Strategic Air Command, was peace through strength.
Right.
And, it really works. When people are, afraid to take you on, there's they're not going to take you
That's
on.
correct. That's correct. As long as we manage it in a humane
Right.
and just way, but America does.
I-
Lightly, and America doesn't pick on little people. America wants to keep the world a safe place for everybody.
I agree. It seemed to be when I was younger, and probably when I got out of the service, was seemingly maybe the first time that America had some tones of maybe not being country. But before that, it seemed to me like all you could ever be was proud of America and all of its accomplishments, and nothing ever seemed to be in question about America's intent in the world.
Correct. I don't think there was an era of imperialism or any of that like some of the other dynasties or great empires. So we were never into that empire
Right.
building. We were into protecting our interests, of course, and wherever in the world that was. But the bottom line was we wanted to protect America and make sure that we could help out where needed around the world.
You know, just recently I watched the movie The Monuments Men, which I think in that had a very good message about that. You know, we didn't want the R, we didn't need any of that, we didn't want to take the gold, just who did it belong to, let's get it back, and it seemed like we did that ASAP. I mean, it sounded to me like, when we watched from the movie, that we took that route almost right away. It wasn't like, well, it'll take 10 years to figure it out or anything like that as well. We've got a few minutes. Let's talk about tomorrow. One of the main things is serving veterans and veterans' needs for any needs that they have. And we outreach officer.
We have a county service officer, that's Terry Sanders,
Right.
and he has arranged a VA outreach at the American Legion Hall for tomorrow, and it'll be from 11 to 3 p.m. And what that is there'll be VA professionals there and guidance professionals there, and really what it is an intake meeting. And it's for veterans that can't access the VA facilities, they can't get to them, they're too far, or whatever the disability is, maybe that's causing them not to be able to access it. A local entity like the American Legion, you can come to the American Legion Hall between 11 and 3, speak to a VA professional, identify your needs, and then start the process to trying to get the help you need.
Okay, we brought up Terry Sanders as the
Veteran
County
Service
Veteran
Officer.
Service Officer. Does he have any tie-in to the American Legion post, other than a membership and things like that?
Not really. He is a member of the American Legion,
Right.
but he's a county employee, and every county has a veteran service officer in the state of California. And our county, our supervisors have been gracious enough to make it a full-time position. Some counties it's not. So, but they understand how important it is to veterans, and the numbers that are filed and the issues that he has to work on. And they're very time-consuming, they're very complex, and he's handling some very challenging cases. So, and where else would these folks be able to go? They probably wouldn't. And so he is the intermediary between the VA and himself, and he'll file the claim, and then he'll walk that claim through the process. And if there are problems, he can intervene. You'll give him your power of attorney on the matter, and he knows what he's doing, and he can see that claim all the way through from start to finish.
So tomorrow, that's a place where you can go and start to initiate a claim, find out about.
Well, you can do that anytime, Tom,
Right,
but you can also do that tomorrow. But tomorrow it's more of intake, identifying with the VA and helping you get that direct care that they can provide for you.
Okay, we have some time. Let's talk about some of the care that the VA has given. Not so long ago, the VA was wrapped in a scandal. It wasn't as timely as possible, things like that. We've had some congressional look into that, and I believe they've had some, what we want to say, they've come out with some recommendations. Where does that settle?
It's right now. It's in a transient phase.
Okay.
It is such a large organization. It's the largest healthcare service in the world. The VA, the Veterans Administration. It has over a $2 billion annual budget. I mean, it's tremendous, and
Wow.
to handle all those facilities and how the VA works, it is government. So it works sometimes very slowly. What we have tried to do is identify the problems. And the problem, early access to the system. Most veterans will tell you, once they get into the system, the health care isn't bad. The health care, many of them swear by the health care system.
Right.
So it wasn't a question of the treatment they got, it was accessing the system. And you can have the best access of, you can have the best hospital and health care in the world, and if you can't access, it doesn't do any good. And so to access that system, you have to file a claim. You have to have that claim adjudicated. You have to, and then you have, well, all that was far too slow. And it was cumbersome. Sometimes claims would take years. It doesn't help a veteran. Sometimes the claim was filed improperly. Sometimes you were sent to the wrong facilities or wrong times. It just properly. There was neglect in the VA system. We identified that. We are a watchdog, the American Legion. And we were there. We pointed these things out. We went to Congress. We testified. Numerous occasions did we testify of continuity and the lack of response by the VA to healthcare problems. And in the end run, what it did, it cost the secretary his job. Now, we have a new secretary, a business person, coming out of the care industry, a very respected individual. Now what we have to do is give him time. You can't correct a system like that, as huge and as bureaucratic as it is, overnight.
Now, is this going to come like as a top-down military type way? I was in the service if your commander needed to review things and things like that, things would get straightened out very quickly. Chips fell where they may, and the system usually got put into place, and Esprit de Corps was back there. The mission was back on track. Is that what we're looking at?
That's a combination of it, but it's
Okay.
not all of it. I think there's going to have to be a site-by-site identification of weaknesses and strengths.
Okay.
Do a SWOT analysis on it. Do a gap analysis. See where the gaps are in the system. And it has to be do a internal audit, and then overseen by someone external of that particular facility. And then what we do is we identify those needs. We come up with a strategic plan and a strategic timeline, because right now that are hurting and suffering, that need some kind of assistance. So we need to be quickly, we need to expedite things, and then we need to get the right response to the issue at hand.
All right. Well, I want to thank you, Al, for coming on board and be with the session of TSPN TV's news. Now, I would like to tell everyone that after we finish this newscast, me and Al are going to talk for another hour about things near and dear to both of us with the veterans. And so stay with TSPN and look for that. We'll also as well. So tell your friends. I'm Tom Slavic. Thanks for watching. We'll see you again next time.
You're watching Amador County's local television network, TSPN.